everybody, my name is Noah and welcome to another book review video. I'm actually starting a new book series today called Guardians of GaHoole. It is by Catherine Lasky and the first book, this one is called The Capture. So there's actually 16 books in the series. It's a really big series and there's a lot to unpack, especially in this first one because this one sets everything up for the ones to come. But first, before I tell you about the plot, I do want to show you some cool features. In the softcover books, they have the pictures of the owls, because the main characters are owls. It is basically surrounding these kingdoms of owls and the different characters in there. One thing that I really like about it is that it does use like the real scientific names and of these owls. In the back of each book, it has a list of the characters, and on it have their names, the type of owls, as well as the scientific name, the barn owls, specifically the Tito albas, are actually real species. So you learn a little bit of owls in there too. I mean, there's a lot of fictional stuff, of course, but you get to learn the different types of owls, which I think is really cool. And another thing that I want to share that is also in every book is the map, which, you know me, I love maps. This is really cool. It definitely helps to show where every owl is flying and where they're from. Of course, this is a fictional map, but it does give a better idea of the plot as a whole. And in each book, they also have a little image or drawing, which I can share you. This is from a scene in the book. So I just thought I'd share. So now, on to the plot. There's a lot in this one. Honestly, I've actually watched the movie based off of this, The Legend of the Guardians of GaHoole. And the movie is very different, very condensed, very different version than the books, but there are a lot of similarities that I was noticing, especially with this first book. So this book, it is about Soren, a young barn owl, when he is pushed out of his nest in the tree by his brother. He is kidnapped and taken to a canyon known as the St. Agulhas Academy for Orphaned Owls, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. There is an evil force of owls that runs this so-called orphanage and trains the kidnapped owls to delabor for them. And basically, they use what's called moon blinking to hypnotize them, to make it to where they don't feel. They lose their names, they have numbers, and so Soren and his new friend Gylfi must learn to resist this moon blinking, to keep their individuality and their individual identities and not become this slave group of mindless owls, pretty much. And to do this, there are legends of GaHoole. These are tales of warriors who fought for good and did noble deeds, and Soren and Gylfi are determined to push through this, and they recite these legends, and that helps them resist the moon blinking. And one thing that I want to quote is from page 77, where Gylfi quotes something her father told her. "You can practice forever and still never really fly if you do not really believe you can." And so in here, they must learn to fly to escape. And it is with the help of a mentor, Grimble, where he teaches them secretly how to fly, that eventually they can escape. And one thing I do want to mention real quick is that there's also a character, owl called Hortense, and she pretends to be moon-blinked as well, but she actually secretly saved some of the eggs that are brought inside. Of course, she does end up dying in protection of these eggs, but her deeds go on nobly, and she does return later because she's not dead, but it looks like she's dead. Complicated, you'll have to read it. And after Gylfi and Soren manage to escape, after they learn how to fly, they meet Twilight, a great gray owl, and Digger, a burrowing owl, who have also been orphaned by St. Agnes' troops. And the four owls, along with Miss Plithiver, who was originally Soren's nestmate snake, a blind snake who was just nursed. They make a pact to find the island of the great GaHoole tree and its legendary heroes, the guardians of GaHoole, in order to stop the evil plans that St. Agnes has with its so-called orphanage and the mysterious metal that they are collecting called Flex. So we are left off with them ready to journey on and find the great GaHoole tree, and that is where you begin book 2. So stay tuned for that video, and I appreciate you watching. Have a good day. Bye.